Hey, this is Dr. Ben Pearl with FitFootU. Today I am here with my colleague, Dr. Jay Spector, at the American Academy of Podiatric Sports Medicine meeting here in Washington, D.C. Jay's been a major part of the behind-the-scenes planning, a past president. He's a runner himself. First of all, let's reel it back. How did we reconnect? Remember in Portland at the meeting? And
yeah, we were at a standalone in Portland. We were on our way to the Nike campus.
Yeah.
That was pretty
And
cool.
we did some runs together.
Yeah.
And then that began a whole thread of discussions.
Yes.
Podiatrists, both runners. You're running a little bit more than I am. I'm doing some cross disciplines with soccer. What's been some of the self-discovery of things that you have picked up on yourself as you didactically learn information from our colleagues about your own running and managing injuries?
Well, you know, just being involved in the standalone over the years, and myself getting involved more in run coaching and, you know, running marathons, getting injured myself. All those things have taught me, you know, feeling injuries, the same injuries my patients have had. I mean, I've had plantar fasciitis. I've had, I had something that kind of derailed me about a year ago. I had my SI joint issues. You know, I thought it was back pain. It was the SI joint. And soon after that, I had an infrapatellar fat pad syndrome in my left knee. And between the two of them, I mean, I was down for the count. I lost my base. For 10 years, I was maintaining a 20-mile long run every 4 weeks. So I always felt like I was in marathon-ready shape.
It's not as easy to snap back when we're in our 50s. What were some of the solutions that you did to, you know, let's start with the knee and then a little bit about the back. What got you out of the tailspin?
Well, I went to a physiatrist, you know, a specialist in physical medicine rehab, and he did 2 separate treatments. He did a hydrodissection on my fat pad of my knee, which is really neat.
Guided with ultrasound?
Guided with ultrasound. It was really amazing. Injected saline. I saw the nerve adhesions, I had 2 of them, they just separated, and it was instant relief. So I had to build back up my running base, you know, because I hadn't done more than like 8 miles, 10 miles for a long run. Building back up to 20 it's difficult, and now I have 2 20s under my belt, a bunch of 18s and 17s, and I'm running Marine Corps in 2 weeks, so I should be fine.
How are you stabilizing the sacroiliac? What was the...
So I didn't know that I had a limb length discrepancy.
Of all things.
Right.
Yeah.
So my right leg is about 1 centimeter shorter, and I'm using a 1/4-inch heel built into my orthotic.
Mm-hmm. And in terms of any stabilizers you're doing for spine health?
I'm doing, I do a lot of squats, lunges, deadlifts, you know, ab work.
That's awesome. I find too that as we're, you know, pushing past the half century, that we need those exercises, those squats and things to maintain
strength training.
muscle strength.
Strength training is,
and for longevity.
It's really a key component. You know, you can't just run. You have to do the strength training too.
Now you got something that's kind of halfway in the oven that you've been talking about, kicking about, putting something together with phantom injuries. I love this idea of a topic.
So I came up with this myself after, I think it was after the last Chicago marathon I ran. Yeah, I call it real pain phantom injury. So if you've done any kind of endurance sport, immediately after, whether it be 1 day, 2 days, a week, you have pains in certain areas, and they're real. You know, so I'll give you a little progression. So I run a marathon. An hour later, my left Achilles is hurting. Half hour later, my right quad is hurting. It just jumps around, and the pain is, you would think that you had a major injury. So it's real pain, but it's a phantom injury. It's not a real injury. So I have athletes all the time who will come in 3 days after a marathon, and they're like, oh man, this thing is just killing me. I said, we're not going to treat it yet. Let's give it another week. They come back in a week, it's gone. You know, in most cases, the pain is gone.
So maybe something related to a muscular fatigue break
Yeah.
point, some kind of reset that occurs just
Yeah,
with rest.
you know, you're always breaking down
Yeah.
muscle, you know, doing something. It's not normal to run a marathon, right, on the body.
Yeah.
It just isn't. So, you know, you're tearing down some muscle fibers, but they're going to build back up at the same time. It's part of the healing process.
Just a little note about the academy, which, you know, we both, you know, really enjoyed the interaction. What are something for people that are still on the sidelines to consider? I mean, I always feel like it's like seeing a two-dimension movie as opposed to a 3D movie when you're involved with colleagues the way the relationships that we've been able to develop with you, with our current president, Mike Donato. You know, what are some other things that you would impart for people to get involved, and young members too that are coming up through school?
So it's very good to get involved at the local level to begin with. I'm also involved in Special Olympics, and I think that, you know, for young people and even older practicing podiatrists who want to get involved in sports medicine, helping out at a Special Olympics event is huge. And, you know, I'm a global advisor, and we're looking, not every state has a clinical director for Special Olympics. That is something that, you know, we want to get people in every state to be a clinical director. I'm certifying somebody in Philadelphia at a Special Olympics Games at Villanova on November 4th. And, you know, I'm basically going to run an event, teach another doctor how to run an event, and then they're going to take over and, you know, do it hopefully for years to come. That's a great way to get involved. Another thing to get involved with is whatever sport is your passion, right? And I've told you this, if, you know, I'm a running coach, so I get involved in running races. You can get involved in soccer events. Whatever you're passionate about sports-wise, I would direct you to go to that. So, for example, I'm right next door to a Fleet Feet running shoe store. So I do talks there. I'll go to, there are other running shoe stores, and I'll schedule talks there. And it's a good way to get involved at the local level. And there are other things that you can do in terms of the academy. You can do research. You could write papers.
That's one of the things I wanted to tell you about research. It's been a real stimulator for me, just interacting with people like Golden Harper and different people. We had this weekend, Dr. Gary Ho, who does some of the hydrodissection. That you're meeting these colleagues, and all of a sudden it opens up a whole new silo of information that you need to explore. I'm doing that with my virtual biomechanics summit. So it's many of the people that I've met at these meetings that we've had,
Right.
and that'll be virtually January 24th. If you're interested, you can contact me direct at arlingtonfoot@gmail.com, and we'll give you the details about that virtual summit, and I hope that you'll be able to watch some of that, and, you know, we'll have it recorded as well for the people that are
You're doing
attending.
great work.
I appreciate that. Well, Dr. J, my friend, my colleague,
Yes.
thank you so much, man.
Pleasure.
All right. Till next time, this is Dr. Ben Pearl with Dr. J with FitFoot U.